I'm Elaine Parker, 67, from Modesto, California. It's the last Sunday of October. The air smells like wet leaves and dryer sheets from next door. I'm in the garage, digging through the plastic storage bins marked Fall Christmas, looking for the little pumpkin lights for the porch. The garage light flickers. The switch has done that since my husband, Tom, changed it himself instead of calling an electrician. He's been gone 8 months. People say time softens things. It hasn't. I lift the orange lid on the bin. On top, wrapped in tissue paper, sits the ceramic turkey centerpiece our daughter buys at Hobby Lobby every other year, then forgets here, under it, a manila envelope with Tom S. tight block letters. Elaine, open when you fire. Re-ready. My heart thumps so loud I can hear it through the hum of the second fridge. I slide my thumb under the flap. Inside, a stapled document and a smaller note. The document is his will, not the one we signed at the strip mall attorney in 2014. This is newer. The date reads February 10th, 2 weeks before he went into the hospital with pneumonia that never let go. I sit on the folding chair by the lawn tools and start reading. The new will leaves 40% of our savings to our church's benevolence fund. That part doesn't surprise me. Tom tithed even when we were counting quarters. What stops me is the clause about the house. It says the house, this 3-bed, 2-bath ranch on Blue Oak Court, can't be sold for at least 2 years. During that time, it should be rented below market to a local family, getting back on their feet, chosen with the pastor's input. After 2 years, the house can be transferred fully to me, Elaine, or to our son, Mark, if he lives here and manages the rental fairly. My hand goes cold. Mark lives here. He moved back in during the pandemic, then stayed when his marriage cracked. He's been telling everyone the house will be his one day soon, and how he'll put up a new fence and a smoker out back. I put the papers back in the envelope, and only then notice the small handwritten note, folded twice. If you can, do good without breaking what we built. If you can't, do what keeps peace. Tom. I make tea and text Pastor Jim to ask if he can stop by. It's barely 5. He says he'll come after evening service. Mark's truck pulls into the driveway before that, muffler rattling. He comes in carrying a sack of takeout, sets it down and kisses my head. You find the pumpkin lights? I hold up the envelope. I found your dad's will. He thinks I mean the old one. We already did that. I hand him the new document. He reads the first page fast, then the clause about the house. What is this? His voice goes flat, then loud. He never said this to me. I point to the date. He wrote it while he was sick. Mark paces between the stove and the sink, forks clattering. So we're supposed to be landlords to a charity case? Below market? For 2 years? He's not cruel. He's scared. He's been saving to buy the truck off his buddy. He wants security. I say, let's wait for Pastor Jim. Mark says, and a lawyer. He scrolls his phone, searching, Contest Will California. Pastor Jim arrives in his windbreaker that squeaks, sits at our vinyl tablecloth and reads the will slowly, twice. He keeps his finger on the clause. Tom told me he wanted the house to help someone, but also to keep your roof steady, he says. He asked me if there was a family we knew. He mentions the Garcias. The dad hurt his back. The mom cleans houses. They've been at church food pantry twice this fall. Mark's jaw tightens. We're not a charity. Pastor Jim looks at him, not unkind. Sometimes we are. That night, Mark emails the local attorney he used once for a traffic thing. The attorney, Ms. Kaufman, calls back Monday morning and sets a consultation for Wednesday. I spend Monday washing the good towels because it's something I can finish. On Tuesday, I meet Daisy, our neighbor, at Rayleigh's. She picks up my carton of eggs and says, "Halloween's this week. Are you putting out the projector again?" I say I'm not sure. I don't say anything about the will. The words feel too heavy to carry in the cereal aisle. Miss Kaufman's office sits in a small building near the DMV. The waiting room smells like paper and lemon cleaner. We sit on chairs that look firm but sink too low. Miss Kaufman is in her 50s. No nonsense. Charcoal blazer. She reads the will while tapping a capped pen against her chin. "It appears valid," she says. "Dated, signed, witnessed. Was there capacity? Tom was lucid until his last week. Then your odds of a successful contest are slim." Mark leans forward. "But the house was always supposed to be mine." She looks at me. "Did he say that in writing anywhere?" "No. We only said it at barbecues and in the garage, passing the tape measure back and forth." "There may be room to negotiate administration," Miss Kaufman says. "You can't sell for 2 years, but you could structure a rental that works for both your cash flow and the intent. Just below market? Isn't it a number? It's a range." She explains about probate timelines, notices to beneficiaries, the court's role. It is boring and terrifying at once. Like watching a long train cross while you fuss. Relate. On the way home, Mark drives in silence. At a red light, he says, "He didn't trust me." I say, "He trusted us to do good." On Thursday, Pastor Jim calls. The Garcias had a pipe burst in their apartment. Landlord won't fix it this week. Can they stay a few nights? My first instinct is no. The house has Tom's smell in the den still. The idea of strangers on the couch makes my skin tight. But I remember the note. If you can, do good. I say yes to 2 nights. They arrive with 2 kids and a plastic bin of clothes. They are quiet and careful with their shoes. The daughter, maybe 12, helps me wipe the stove after dinner. The son, 8, asks if he can put a pumpkin sticker on the window. Mark watches all of this like it's a show he didn't buy tickets for. That night he says, "So now we're a shelter?" I say, "We're neighbors." He doesn't fight, but he doesn't help either. The next morning, Ms. Kaufman emails a draft of a plan. We apply to the court to follow the will. We propose a lease to a qualifying family at 25% below Zillow's estimate. The Church Benevolence Fund can cover a deposit and part of utilities. Mark will act as manager and log hours, which counts toward an eventual transfer to him if he keeps the books clean. It's not the future he pictured, but it's a future. Friday is Halloween. Porch smells like candle smoke and wet leaves. I put out bowls of Kit Kats and the little pumpkin lights. The Garcias help carve a jack-o'-lantern. Their son chooses a crooked grin. Pastor Jim stops by with a thermos of cider and prays a quick, ordinary prayer at the kitchen doorway. At 6:30, Ms. Kaufman calls with the court's preliminary feedback. If everyone consents, the judge will likely approve the plan and set a status review in 6 months. If someone contests, we'll schedule hearings in December. She pauses. "Elaine, are you ready to sign?" I look at the envelope on the counter, now soft at the corners from handling. Mark stands by the porch with the candy bowl, watching kids in plastic masks walk up the driveway. He keeps checking the street like he's waiting for something that isn't coming. I step outside. "The court needs our signatures to move forward." He doesn't look at me. If I say yes, I'm stuck here 2 more years, being the landlord to people we don't know. I say, "If you say no, we fight in court for months and spend money we don't have. We might win. We might lose. Dad asked us to keep peace if we could." A group of teenagers walks away, laughing, candy clacking in their buckets. Mark finally meets my eyes. "What if they wreck the place?" I say. Then you write it down and fix it, and I keep receipts, and the church helps, and in 2 years it's your fence and your smoker, and you'll know you earned it. We go inside. I print the consent forms on the old inkjet that leaves lines. Mark reads each paragraph like it's a dare. He signs. I sign. When it's done, the house is quiet in a way I don't like. I make cocoa and bring out the last of Tom S. peanut brittle that I hide so I don't, to eat it all in August. We take 2 pieces each and sit on the porch steps. The Garcia's little boy runs up with his bucket. "Miss Elaine, can I put our pumpkin on your porch tonight?" "Of course," I say. He sets it gently next to Tom's old boot scraper. Its crooked grin looks braver in the dark. On Saturday morning, the house smells like damp costumes and cocoa. The Garcias pack their bin. The daughter leaves a note on the counter in loopy writing. "Thank you for letting us feel safe." Mark reads it and puts it under a magnet shaped like a grape. We meet Ms. Kaufman at her office to hand in the signed forms. She nods, professional but kinder than before. We'll file Monday. On the way home, we stop at Home Depot for weather strip and a new smoke detector battery. The cashier says, "You folks getting ready for the rain this week?" We nod like any other customers. In the car, Mark says, almost to himself, 2 years. I say, 2 years. He drums his fingers on the steering wheel. "Can I still get the smoker for Christmas?" I say. "Yes, but put it on the far side so the Garcias don't breathe it when they here for the lease signing." By mid-December, the lease is signed. The rent is below what Mark wanted, above what I feared. The church covers the deposit and brings over a used sofa that's cleaner than ours. Mark has a spiral notebook where he writes down dates, repairs, and miles to Ace Hardware for parts. He is good at it when he tries. We put a tiny tree in the front window. People from church drop off cookies and a paper star. On a Wednesday night, I sit at the table with the will, the note, and our checkbook. I balance accounts. The numbers are tight but not bleeding. When I stand to make tea, I catch sight of myself in the dark window. Older, yes, but still here. The grief is still in the room, same as always, but we've made another kind of space around it. In late January, we go back to court for the status review. The judge is a woman with reading glasses on a chain. She asks simple questions. "Has rent been paid on time?" "Yes." "Is the property maintained?" "Yes." "Any disputes?" Mark shrugs. "We argued about the trash bins once." The judge smiles with one side of her mouth. "Welcome to property management." She approves the plan and schedules the next review for summer. On the courthouse steps, Mark says, "So if I keep this up, the house transfers to you. Then me?" I say. "That's what the will says." He nods, slow. "Okay." We get lunch at a taqueria on 10th Street. He orders al pastor and says it tastes like the county fair. For the first time in months, I taste my food. In March, the Garcia's son throws a ball inside and cracks the edge of the hallway mirror. He cries hard. Mark teaches him how to patch a small hole in drywall with spackle and a butter knife, and the boy calms down. In April, Mark's ex-wife gets engaged. He sees the photo on Facebook and disappears in his truck for 2 hours. He comes back holding a smoker catalog. In May, Pastor Jim retires. The new pastor is younger and says, "Like too much," but he shows up with a rake on cleanup day, so we keep him. On a Tuesday in June, I find Tom S. note again under the magnet and read it out loud. "If you can, do good without breaking what we built. If you can't, do what keeps peace." We didn't get a fairy tale ending. We got an ending where Mark pays attention and I sleep a little. The house has fingerprints on the light switches, and a lease on the fridge, and a crooked pumpkin still in the garage, because no one took it to the green bin on time. It's not neat, it's ours. And when the porch smells like summer, Mark asks if I want to go to Home Depot for fence posts after church. I say yes. Then I turn off the garage light. It flickers twice and settles.